So if you don't know, we are facing a situation with the Senate where we have two runoff elections with David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. They're both Republican senators. Kelly was appointed. Perdue has won his seat before. Now, there are Republicans in the conservative movement, conservatives, who are telling voters, who are telling people in Georgia, activists in Georgia, not to vote in the coming Georgia runoffs in January. Now, I honestly try not to get involved in any of these issues and any of this, one consultant says something, another consultant says something. But the truth is that if you don't vote in Georgia, if you're in Georgia, this is for people in Georgia, if you don't vote in Georgia, if you don't donate to these candidates if you can, you're not punishing the RNC. The argument is don't vote for the two senators up for re-election in Georgia because we're sticking it to the RNC. The truth is you're not punishing the RNC. You're punishing me. You're punishing your sister, your mother, your friend, your best friend, your brother. You're punishing your wife, your husband. You're punishing the people who have to live in a country that has Democrats in control of every major part of the federal government. Now, there are two people who are running against these two senators, Jon Ossoff and Reverend Warnock, and the truth is, Warnock is a lunatic. He's an extreme liberal. He is somebody who has praised very controversial, I believe, just figures we shouldn't have young people listening to. Ossoff is a huge proponent of abortion. He is very far left on that issue. His wife is a doctor. I mean, these are people who should not be in the Senate. And I want you to realize what you're giving up. You're giving up two dependable conservative senators who were there for Trump against impeachment, who have done the right thing repeatedly. You're giving that up to stick it to the RNC. And let's be honest here, it's not the RNC that's going to suffer. Those people who cash those big checks at the RNC, they don't care if they lose a race. It's all a game to them. So if you're not voting in those Georgia runoffs, and you can, if you are not giving money to those candidates, if you can, I've donated to them as well. The link to donate to the two Georgia senators is in the link in my bio. I'll link it below here as well. If you're not doing that, what that means is that conservatives, for the next 2 years until midterms, if we lose those Senate seats, will be shut out of the federal government. Now, the last time conservatives were shut out of the federal government, we got Obamacare. Imagine what we will face if we are shut out of the House of Representatives, we've lost the presidency, we lose the Senate. Think about the revenge track that Chuck Schumer is going to go on after watching for years Mitch McConnell steamroll over him. Think about the legislative liberal agenda that will pass. Abortion, climate change, which will destroy jobs and regulations, the immigration, all the things that you care about. By not voting for those two Georgia senators, you're voting for those things. You're voting for us to have a situation where Warnock, who was endorsed by Stacey Abrams said about Raphael Warnock, this is the person running against Kelly Loeffler, that she needed him in the Senate, that she needed him in Congress. Are you okay with having someone, Stacey Abrams says she needs as her warrior in Congress simply because you want to stick it to the RNC? I'm not okay with that. I'm asking you as someone who doesn't live in Georgia not to be okay with that. You need to understand what's at stake here. By not voting for these two senators, if you can, by not donating to them, by not supporting them, by spreading the idea that you shouldn't vote for them on social media, all you're doing is giving Democrats, giving AOC, giving Chuck Schumer, giving Nancy Pelosi, giving Joe Biden a pathway forward to pass a massive liberal legislative agenda that they will be under pressure from the progressive left to do after having to sat there through Trump for the last 4 years. Do not let that happen. And to the people in the right, in the conservative women who are telling you that they're playing 7D chess or 4D chess, or there's like some crazy strategy, think about what they're saying. They're asking you to give up the future of having a check on Joe Biden on a progressive Democrat legislative agenda, simply on the off chance they're right about psyop warfare or some crap. Do not do that. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you this as a young conservative. I need you, if you're in Georgia, if you can donate to these people, if you can support them, do it so that this country does not fall into complete control of Democrats. Last time Democrats were in control, we got Obamacare. Can you imagine what we will get this time? Can you imagine the climate change regulations and restrictions? John Kerry has just been appointed the climate change czar. John Kerry. Think about what that means, and now think about if you think it's okay not to vote in the Georgia runoffs, just to stick it to the RNC. I say this in conclusion. As a day one Trump supporter, I defended Trump in high school. I defended him outside of high school. I got involved in politics at 18 because of it being inspired by what he'd done with the Republican Party. This is not disloyalty. This is loyalty to your country. This is loyalty to making sure you have a check on a Democrat progressive legislative agenda that is going to be driven by revenge-fueled people. Thank you, everyone. Please retweet this, share this, and understand that you need, if you're in Georgia, to vote for Kelly Loeffler, who I know has some problems. Just suck it up and do it. And David Perdue, who's been a very dependable Georgia senator. Both have been dependable with Trump. And more than that, they are against socialism. That's what this has come down to. Thank you, everyone. Please retweet this, share this. I'm going to provide the link to donate to both Georgia senators, the official one, the one that is saved, no third parties or anything, below this on Twitter. Make sure to check it out. Good night, everyone. Retweet this, share this, and do not fall for the conservatives and the Republicans in this movement on social media and in person at protests who are saying, do not vote for these people to stick it to the RNC. They're wrong and they don't know what they're talking about, and go vote in Georgia.